now time to move on for the next session. I have
Thank you
Darwin
for having me.
Rivers, Darwin Rivers, founder, president for Philippines HR Group, and his topic would be how organization can thrive on post-pandemic world. Darwin, go ahead.
Hi, Asif.
Hi.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's really an honor to be part of this program. I am seeing a lot of my colleagues all over the world, and most of them are my mentors that I follow in LinkedIn and also in Facebook. Thank you, World HRD Congress and Grace Ellis for this invite. So let me just share my screen, and while I'm sharing my screen, let me just introduce who I am. My name is Darwin Rivers. I am the founder and president of the Philippines HR Group. Currently, we are about 222,000 HR and HR aligned professionals um, across industries in the Philippines. And again, it is an honor to be part of this discussion. When I was informed that the topic was building agility and strength for organizational success, I have to put it in the context of my own experience. And basically, um, I would remember some time ago, one of my mentors would say that in life there are two certainties. One is death and the other is taxes. But in the business world, we know that there is another or a third certainty, and that would be change. And right now, most of the CEOs globally are understanding and aware that for them to become successful, they must be able to accept change. They must be able to have the ability to respond in the changing environment, both internally and externally, and be able to basically be agile and provide appropriate actions whenever it is needed. Um, I would like to show you these brands. I know that you are familiar with these brands. We have Kodak, Blockbuster, Motorola, Toys R Us, MTV, and Nokia. These are brands that during my time, these are really top brands. But as you know, a lot of these brands that I'm showing are either no longer part of the top global brands. And the reason for it is because they're not able to adapt. They're not able to be agile in terms of how they can grow, how can they adapt to the changing world and the changing needs of their clients and customers. Now, what is the importance of for an organization to achieve organizational agility? It says here that for organizational agility, for you to be able to achieve it, you must be able to understand and be alert of both internal and external environmental changes, which of course brings either opportunity or challenges. In these COVID times, or in these times of pandemic, because due to COVID, a lot of companies are actually experiencing that. A lot of companies are feeling the crunch of the crisis. A lot of companies are closing down. Earlier, the speakers are saying or that a lot of companies globally are either closing or retrenching employees. But there are also a lot of companies that are growing because of this pandemic. Here in the Philippines, we've been seeing a growth in e-commerce. We've seen growth uh, of 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 a lot of industries that has sprung due to the changes brought by the pandemic. An organization must have the ability to use whatever resources that they have. Either they should be timely, flexible, affordable, and they should be able to ensure that, um, sorry, they should be able to ensure that they use all these resources to adapt to these challenges. Now, what is the importance of an agile organization? We're seeing here that an agile organization we need to embrace it to make sure to make quick, decisive, and effective um, uh, uh, what do I call this? Effective decisions. Our leaders should be able to provide effective decisions on how to adopt, on how to take advantage of these changes. And yet, of course, we must make sure that we remain fluid enough to absorb any setbacks. One must remember that agility is not just about being fast. It says here that it also implies the capacity to remain in touch to your clients or your customers. Basically, we know that the world is changing because of what's happening right now. We need to understand what need does our clients and customers have. Will our product and services still provide for these needs? Are we still relevant? And if we're not relevant, how can we be relevant for them? What I'm showing here is the 8 dimensions of organizational agility. One of it is leadership and management. What kind of leadership team and management team do you have? Are they able to provide decisive, quick decisions to ensure that your organization can adopt during these changing times? Innovation. Is your company or organization able to use technology, able to use whatever resource that you have to adopt to the changing times? What is your strategy in terms of policies and processes? What culture do you have? Are your employees able to have that culture that they're able to adopt to the different changes? Your leaders, are they able to provide the path, the culture of which your employees are able to follow, that if there are changes in the organization, every single one of them understands and are able to adopt to it? Part of the 8 dimensions of organizational agility will be learning and change. We need to make sure that we learn from the experience, and with these learnings that we have every single day, we're able to provide changes that we need to do in our organization. Again, it's either policies, processes, or being able to see the best practices of other industries and how it can help us strive in these times. Your structures is also important. Is your organizational structure able to support whatever changes that you decide? Of course, research and development follows in terms of if your services and products are no longer being attuned to the needs of your clients and customers, you need to make sure that you create new products and new services that your customers or your clients will support. And of course, your overall operations. How is your operations be able to change your current setup if ever you decide to change your product and services? Are you able to be able to thrive in that particular change? And of course, as I mentioned, we are currently in a VUCA situation where COVID-19 being a pandemic has all the elements of VUCA. It's volatile, uncertain, it's very uncertain, it's provide complexity and ambiguity. But we know that this pandemic has all the elements of VUCA, but how do we fight for it? For me, I would say that we have to have the solutions mindset. And for you to be able to have the solutions mindset, you have to be reliable and in volatile situations. You need to make sure you follow through on what is said and agreed to accelerate positive momentum. You must be trustworthy in a certain situations. You must be able to invest in people. You must be able to invest in people and engage them and seek to be able to understand their needs. You must be able to direct in complex situations. Transparency in information is very important. Be able to communicate what your overall goal as an organization should be and how it will be received by your employees and your clients. There should be mutual trust and collaborative efforts across. And lastly, it should be understandable. You should be understandable in ambiguous situations. Again, you have the message, it should be clear, there should be clarity in everything. You should be able to provide clarity in terms of roles and responsibilities of each and every leader, each and every department that we have. So I think that's all from my end in terms of my presentation for today. I think.
Thank you, Darwin. Let me just look up for a question for you. Um, a question here, it's from Mahendra Kumar Yadav. It shows how organization expect employees to be honest in the era where they themselves are not showing loyalty.
That's a very good question, Asif. I believe that your employees reflects who you are as leaders. And if you establish a culture of honesty, if you are able to provide them by being transparent with them, then I believe that it's a two-way street. Leaders should be role models, and the actions of our employees are but the reflection of who we are. And I think setting the proper culture and setting the proper expectations and will be crucial in this journey.
All right. Thank you, Darwin. Thank you for your views. Thank you so much.